Max Muncy already making some noise here as we welcome you back to High Heat on this real first day of the offseason, which means the hot stove is already on. Max Muncy joining me now, and recently just signed a 2-year, $24 million extension to stay in Los Angeles. Max, great to be with you. Congratulations. And you and Kelly had said, you know what, I'd rather stay in LA, even if it meant taking less than what you guys could have gotten on the open market. Why is that?
Yeah, it's an organization that, several years ago when I first came back, they helped me rediscover, my love for baseball. And, to me, there's a peace of mind of being with an organization like that. And knowing that we have a chance to win every single year. And it's also a place that, we're comfortable, me and my family is comfortable there. And, it was really just a no-brainer for us to have, the whole reason that, I fell back in love with baseball was just having the chance to win. And, we were never in it to make the most amount of money. We want to win a World Series, and having that chance with Los Angeles, I feel like that just gives us, the best chance possible. And so for me, it was the most comfortable decision.
Max, you mentioned reigniting your love for the game. And when the Dodgers signed you back on April 28th of 2017, you had just been released by the Oakland Athletics, kind of sitting on the couch, wondering what was next for you and Kelly at the time. You guys didn't have kids, but can you take a step back and realize how much you've accomplished since signing with the Dodgers back in 2017?
Yeah, it's a wild journey. It really is. And it's something that I don't take for granted. And, I try to work as hard as I can every single day just to be able to give the organization a chance to win and to be the best player I can for the organization, just because, they helped me rediscover, who I was as a player and really who I was as a person. And so, it's I try to do anything I can to get back to them.
You had such a strange 2023, Max Muncy, because you had a career high in home runs and a career high in RBI, but your batting average was not a career high. But your OBP was great because you walked, you were patient at the plate. But my friend, even without having a defensive shift, you weren't hitting for average as a lefty. Tell me how you kind of encapsulate your 2023 season.
For me, it was, there was a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. It's, the power numbers and the production was kind of where I wanted it to be, but everything else was not, still trying to, discover myself a little bit and, get my swing back to where it was before I had that injury a couple of years ago. And it's just, trying to get my body to cooperate with that has always been, it's been difficult these last 2 years. And so, for me, I feel like, each day forward is getting better and better. And, hopefully I can get back to being a better hitter and not just a slugger.
You know what? Did you ever talk to Cody Bellinger about kind of getting back to yourself and back to your swing after having an injury? I know you guys didn't have the exact same injury, but the point is, after he had his issue and you had your issue, it takes some time for you guys to get back there mechanically. Did you talk to anybody about that in terms of, helping you along the way?
No, I haven't talked to anyone, but it's just kind of something that I understand and I realize, and, it's, the injury that I had caused a lot of mechanical problems with my lower half. And so trying to get my lower half to cooperate with the upper half it's definitely been a journey and it's been a challenge, but, we had some good moments last year and I just got to capitalize on that and just work harder to get everything back to being who I am.
All right, so you guys did not fare well against the Milwaukee Brewers in that first round of the postseason. How long did it take you to get over that, Max?
It was Arizona, not Milwaukee.
I'm sorry, Arizona. I apologize.
Yeah, that's definitely one that kind of stung the entire playoffs. That you're seeing it on TV, and they're still out there. It's we obviously felt like we had a better team to make a run through the playoffs, but every year as you see it, it doesn't matter who you think is the better team. It's who's playing better and who's hot and who's got who's got that thing in the postseason. And that doesn't matter what kind of roster you have. You got to have the guys playing together and playing to win the game. And you got to have a little bit of luck on your side sometimes. And we didn't have any of that.
Yeah, look at Arizona. They beat Milwaukee, then you guys, then obviously ended up in the World Series after beating Philadelphia. I want to ask you a little bit, if you don't mind, about Stephen Vogt. The reason I bring that up, Max, is because you were a teammate of his in 2015 and 16, and those 2 years were the 2 years that he was an All-Star. Now he's the Cleveland Guardians manager. He's been known as an incredibly good teammate. What do you remember about Vogt when you guys were together in Oakland?
Steven's one of the best teammates that I've ever played with. He's a guy that he just has a ton of fun in the locker room. He keeps it light. He keeps everyone happy. He keeps everyone on their toes. But at the same time, he's not afraid to call you out if you're slacking off. And he loves to have fun, but he also likes to have fun while focusing on the game and trying to win. And he's one of the best teammates I've had at being able to balance that. And so I think I think he's going to be an incredible manager. I actually didn't know that he got the manager job. So that's awesome news. I'm happy for him. But I know that all those guys over there are going to love playing for him.
Yeah, he seems like a really good guy, and I know that he's wanted to be a manager for quite some time. Let's talk about another one of your teammates, Clayton Kershaw, announcing a couple of days ago that he's going to have off-season surgery, hopes to pitch again in the middle of the summer. I can't imagine Clayton wanted the last image of him to Dodgers fans being taken off the mound hurt. What does that mean to you, that you know that he's going to come back, whether it's with LA or another team, but just his commitment to wanting to win?
It makes me happy. He's one of the best competitors in the game of baseball, and I've been honored and blessed to be his teammate, for the last 6-7 years, and getting to see how he goes about his work every single day. It's not surprising to me why he's had the success that he's had, because I know he's been the same guy his entire career, and it's really special to watch firsthand. And I know fans get to see him every fifth day, but when you see him every single day, the work that he puts in, it's really special. And so, for me, it'll be fun to get to see him come back for another year, and hopefully it's with us. But just to get a chance to see him pitch, I know it'll be really fun and be really special.
All right. Obviously, are you at Baylor right now? Are you working out at Baylor?
No, not at Baylor, no.
Okay. I know that you grew up in Texas, obviously. What's your thought about the Texas Rangers winning it all? Some new blood there in the World Series, and obviously Corey Seager getting MVP for the second time in the World Series.
I thought it was really cool. Growing up in Texas, I was a Rangers fan, and I got a lot of friends on that team now. Siegs, obviously. I played with Marcus for a couple of years, and Heaney and a bunch of those guys, and it was really cool to see them win. And for me, if I was rooting for a team, I was kind of rooting for my hometown team, and so to get to see them win, I thought it was really cool.
All right, Max Muncy, you are a Dodger for at least another couple of years. Best of luck in this off-season training, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.